Welcome, my children of the night, back to another episode of the Infernal Archive. This will be our first contemporaneous review. As you can see, my usual acolyte is not here with me today. Unluckily, he got a little too randy the other night when he was partying with some of the nymphomaniac demons, the succubi, they're also known as, and they ended up getting possessed. So he's currently just in another room here in my torture castle death building.
Sex chamber
building. And he is being exercised by a seasoned professional. So he should be back soon. Just know he's not dead. He just needs a little bit of cleansing, yes, as one might say.
A sexorcist, as some would call it.
A sexorcist. He's too sexed.
All life is sex, and all sex is competition.
Mm-hmm. We are going to go see the new Alien movie, Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. Super fucking excited. Haven't been this pumped for a horror movie in a very long time. We're actually coming off of seeing a phenomenal horror movie recently called Oddity, which I keep not remembering. It is like the most unmemorable title ever.
The follow-up movie from the director who did Caveat.
If you have an opportunity to see it in the theater,
go see it.
If you like horror movies, it was really fantastic. Maybe we'll talk about it on a later episode. Anyways, we're gonna go see the movie right now. You guys stick around, and then we'll give you our thoughts when we come back.
Yes. Goodbye.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
And children of the night, we are back. We just came back from seeing Alien Romulus. What a ride. What do you think? I didn't introduce my acolyte previously. Alex, would you mind introducing yourself to the good people?
My name is Alex, aka Mr. Oz from Mr. Oz Productions, another partner channel that we have where we do a lot of cameos of each other and other talks of movies. I'm happy to be here on this exciting episode of the Infernal Archives.
Loyal servant of the darkness.
Yes, exactly.
As are we here. So, Alien Romulus, hit me. What did we think?
Well, as you were saying before, I was excited for this movie, just as you were. So we went on a Thursday screening, got the infamous Alien popcorn bucket, and I was very happy with what it was. I had a lot of expectations going in because it's director of Don't Breathe. So I was like, you're taking Don't Breathe technical mechanics of filmmaking and partnering it with Alien. Sounds like a match made in heaven. What I wasn't expecting was the type of love letter to the entire filmography of Alien movies. It's amazing how many nods and styles they borrow from every single Alien movie, going from Alien all the way to the most recent one, which was Covenant. Yep. So it's pretty amazing, and I was extremely happy with it. It wasn't perfect, but it was extremely entertaining and effective. Mm-hmm. And the third act was fucking wonderful. And I was so happy with it.
I was going in, it's kind of like my expectations were very high. Like the last time my expectations for a film were this high was when I went and saw Godzilla -1 or maybe Top Gun before that. I remember going into those movies being like, I'm expecting a fucking 10 out of 10. And I left those movies like, this is an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
This movie didn't quite hit the 10 out of 10, but damn near. I would say this is a strong 8.5 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded. The thing I was most excited for, I guess, going into this movie, because like you said, Fede Alvarez directed it. He did a really good, tense film called Don't Breathe, which was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
He also did...
He did the Evil Dead remake,
which is also has some like really good, freaky bits in it. Yeah. So I was hoping to be scared a little more. It's hands down the most scared I've been in an Alien movie, though. I'll say that, hands down.
The ending, the ending got me good.
And the ending was like also fully just didn't expect it at all. The movie basically like gets to a point where it's like, it's not a retread of the first movie, but it kind of has a similar sort of like a structure to the first film. And then it kind of pulls in Aliens. I don't want to spoil anything, but it kind of pulls in Aliens. And then it just like really goes in its own direction. And yeah, like you said, it's like kind of does like an Alien Resurrection type deal. Yeah. And it was really entertaining, super entertaining.
The movie, as it goes through its like structures for the script, it's like it evolves through the Alien movies. So it's like first it feels like Alien 3, and then it evolves from that and becomes Alien. Then it evolves from that and it becomes Prometheus, and it evolves from that and becomes Aliens, and then it evolves from that and becomes Alien Resurrection. And it's fucking crazy. You're like, holy shit, like I did not expect any of this to start happening. It's really wild. And what I like so much about it is it never feels like this movie starts, now it stops, this movie starts, now it stops. It like bridges itself really, like it complements each other to consistently build up to that ending where the wackiness of it is earned. Just like Don't Breathe, when you get hit with that great ending at the end of Don't Breathe, you're like, this is so earned because the movie itself is like a masterclass of suspense and terror, building to this schlocky 70s grindhouse ending, but this feels like that as well. So it's really great to see him like actually get a really big IP and then be able to like kind of French kiss it for the filmology of these movies. Because they're always so unique in their own voice. You have like huge directors direct every single one of them, from Ridley Scott to James Cameron to David Fincher to the director of the fourth one's the famous French guy, I can't pronounce his name. But it's like every one of them is a unique voice in their own style. They're auteur filmmakers. So bringing in Fede here, it's like it's like he just pays homage to everything that it is, while also bringing in his own styles. But I agree with you, as I said, it's just like the movie has like this really slow kind of build up and everything, but it's never as scary as you may have expected it to be. But it doesn't, to me, it's like once you start realizing what the movie is, it doesn't quite matter too much. You're like, this is not a genuine, like, I'm gonna thrill scary movie. It's more like a actiony kind of like, we're gonna go and build the story up all the way to the end.
It's similar in tone to
Aliens.
Well, I would even say, like, one thing, I like Aliens, don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant film. But if I had to rank these films right now quickly, I was thinking about this the other day because we were talking about Alien. And I think I said like Alien, the first film, is my favorite movie. And I don't think that's actually accurate. I think the way I would rank these movies is I would go Prometheus, Alien, Alien Covenant, Alien 3, Aliens. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna do it with Romulus. I apologize. Prometheus, Alien Romulus, Alien Covenant, Alien, wait, where am I? Alien 3, Aliens, AVP, Alien Resurrection, and then AVP Requiem is just not a great movie. But
I almost cast that one aside. It doesn't even exist.
No, it doesn't. So that's how I would rank them right now. So Alien Romulus for me is like, it's way up there. It's like, I like it a little more than I like the first Alien film. And it does, like, it skirts that line between like, it has the tension of Alien, and it has the atmosphere, and it has like the set design and like all like the brilliant.
It's got like the Ridley Scott brilliance that's like kind of in there. I also didn't know that Ridley Scott was a full-on producer of it. I thought he was a creative consultant. But when you see the Scott-free, I don't know, like credit at the beginning and then he has his own credit there, I was like, oh, cool. So you do have him there, kind of like just kind of maybe helping him guide or being a consultant in his own way. And he did consult James Cameron as well a little bit about it, and now I understand why. Because I was always curious, I'm like, why the fuck did he consult James Cameron if this is going to be like a really scary one Alien movie? And then you see why, and you're like, I get it. But it feels like he almost consulted every single fucking filmmaker that made Alien movies. It's really funny.
I respect the fact that, like you said, it's like this film even touches on Prometheus in like a big way.
Shockingly touches on Prometheus.
Like, very directly.
And like, it is boom reference. Like,
and like
spoilers, I guess.
I'll say like one thing that really pissed me off about the Alien fan base in the last, since like whatever, since Prometheus came out in like 2012, I think that was. People just shit on those movies like critically, and then also on Alien Covenant, like the newer Ridley Scott films. And I just like never felt a disconnect from a community that much. I can't remember the last time, because I was just like, you guys, what you guys want out of Alien movies and what I want out of Alien movies are just two fully separate things. Because Prometheus to me is like, it is like damn near a bullseye in terms of like, this is the kind of atmosphere I want cultivated in an Alien film. And I was scared because of that negative reaction, because when those two movies came out, it was like, there was this like recoil by the production studios that was like, oh, maybe we're not gonna...
Fox got cold feet.
What are we gonna do with Alien? And they never finished up Ridley's vision for his movies. But I thought that Fede Alvarez, or it was gonna be a mandate to Fede Alvarez, it was like, well, we don't really wanna, we wanna do a new thing. We wanna go back to the Alien and Aliens.
I thought it was going to be a full-on soft remake of Alien.
It kind of, that's the way it kind of comes off on the trailers.
The trailer makes you feel like it is.
The fact that Fede was like, fuck that, I not only am I going to reference Prometheus, which like some people consider a blackish sheep, it's like I'm going to reference, or like, and this is
I'm gonna almost like recreate Alien Resurrection.
The one that like
everyone
nobody likes. It's like even the people who like it, they like it because it's
and
it's
It's
weirdness.
just bad shit crazy. But that's the thing I admire so much about it is like, you want to talk about taking bold decisions. That's some bold fucking decisions to literally reference Prometheus and then recreate in its own way the ending of Resurrection, because it's like the movie plays itself straight.
Yeah.
It's not like Resurrection where it's a goof fest. You know, no one's playing basketball in it.
Now, if you don't want to play basketball, I know some other indoor sports.
You know, so it's like, by doing that, it was so bold, because every single time as a director, you're probably like, fuck, are people actually gonna find this scary?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the moment you see the design, you're like, everybody's gonna be creeped the fuck out from this, because it was like, I almost say it actually like one up Prometheus in a way. The design of it reminded me of The Engineers, but it was like way creepier. It reminded me of Mama and Resurrection and Prometheus, and it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it reminded me when I first watched Prometheus and I saw the what's the pregnancy thing?
Child, is that what they call it?
Yeah, well, it's just like that scene where she gets the baby removed from her and everything. What's the medical procedure when you do that?
Oh, C-section.
The
Oh, you're talking about
C-section,
Prometheus, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It reminded me of when I first saw the C-section scene in Prometheus and how fucking disgusting and disturbing and gross it was.
Yeah.
When you see that start happening, because they're like, oh, there's going to be a second, third act here. I know there is, but what is it going to be? The alien on the ship again? What are they doing?
Yep.
And then when they played into it, I was like, holy fucking shit, you know?
Yeah, it very much felt like, if you've seen Don't Breathe, there is this thing that happens in that film towards the end where it's like, what the fuck did I just see? Yeah. I thought I knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on, and it's way worse than I could have ever imagined it was.
Yeah.
And this film, like, it's not quite as like shocking as the ending of Don't Breathe was, because like is such a visceral, like, disgusting thing. But this film, it's very much in that same vein of like, we're gonna shock these people right at the end of the film and like really make you be like, oh god, and show you something new and show you something in an alien movie you haven't seen before.
And that's why I liked it. It was like the movie kind of was like, you're getting these familiar takes, but it's also trying to do something a little bit different, do scenes that you haven't quite seen yet. But then you get to the ending and it's like, all right, we've coasted them in. Now let's like give them the experiment of what we want. You know, I love that. I thought it was so fucking creepy, and and it was just so well done. So. Yeah. I was really impressed. I knew the movie was going to be technically well made. My biggest concern was that it wasn't going to just be exactly what we've seen before. And it's wonderful that it was everything. So it's like, if you're somebody who ranks Aliens on top of Alien, you're going to get a lot from this movie. If you're somebody that ranks Alien on top of Aliens, you're going to get a lot. If you're somebody that ranks the producer cut of Alien 3 on top of it, you actually might get some shit in it, just with the character designs and everything like that.
And the setting.
And the setting. Yeah. And then if you're somebody that just champions Resurrection, you're going to be in for, you're going to be fucking smiling from fucking ear to ear at the end of that movie. So it's like, because I was laughing.
Me too, yeah.
I was scared. Like, it was the weirdest reaction, because when it started happening, I was like, oh my God, I know what they're doing. And I was like laughing. But then when you actually see the finished product, it scared the living shit out of me. I was scared shitless.
I gotta say, like, it's like a film that could be studied in terms of like the art of making a sequel, and like somehow catering to every fan of the franchise, but not feeling contrived and as if it's like,
it doesn't feel
just redoing the same old thing again.
It doesn't feel malicious, where it's like we're trying to sell you on this exact thing.
Or cynical. It doesn't feel cynical.
It just felt like a natural. Like, as the story that I came up with, this is how it needs to just slowly progress as it builds tension to the ending. And then you just hit them with this like fucking like home run at the end. So it was like really great. I understood, because a lot of reviews were coming out saying like the ending is fucking crazy. And I was like thinking, I'm like, well, what the fuck do they do? I'm thinking like, oh, it's going to go on the planet, it's going to set up aliens or something like that. But I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then when you see what they did, you're like, holy actual shit. They fucking nailed it. So it was really wonderful and really entertaining to watch. And that's the thing I like the most about the movie is like, it was never boring. I never was sitting there going like, I'm so bored. I really enjoyed the characters. There's one character I hated, but you're supposed to kind of hate him.
Totally.
And then when he has such a bitch death as well. And I was like, good, like, fuck you. You're an actual idiot.
You're an asshole.
They do like a bit of a sin, which is like, when the going gets tough, somebody acts so stupid that they just like cause the entire like turning point 1 to happen and everything goes like awry.
And it feels like it could have been done with a little more setup.
Yeah, a little more setup and a little less like on the nose craziness. It reminded me of a scene from Jason X. That's all I'll say. And I was like sitting there, I think like you might have noticed, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, what is this?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
And I got really worried, and then it like immediately got me back with certain things they did and everything like that. Shout out to, I can't remember his name, it's like something Johnson, who plays the African-American actor in this movie. He was excellent at playing essentially 2 different types of characters, and I thought he was a check mark. It reminded me of Fassbender in Covenant when he was literally playing 2 different androids, and I thought it was done so well. So I hope that guy gets way more work down the road. That was really wonderful. And I hope that this movie is a success, because it's one of those things that we've been talking about, that the Alien franchise has never been like this box office smash thing, except for literally Aliens. It's like the only one. So it's like, seeing this movie hopefully get a lot of money would be really nice, because then you have the show coming out, Alien Earth, and I hope that that brings in strong numbers, and then maybe this is what you and I would like, Ridley can conclude his fucking trilogy.
Excellent. To wrap up, it's like Alien's in a great place. This film was like the fucking injection of life that this franchise needed.
It was the adrenaline,
which is just so nice to see. I wanted to mention, like, I think the performances were excellent. The casting was excellent. They were all like basically people who I have not seen in other films.
Yeah.
So I could totally just immerse myself in like, these characters are these people, and that was really awesome. And the other thing I wanted to mention briefly, and I almost forgot about it, was the fact that the score was so different from any of the other soundtracks.
Yeah.
It sounded like the fucking soundtrack to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yep.
And brilliant choice. Like you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the film, but the screaming that happens when you see the monolith. They used that basically like a soundbite that sounds identical.
Brilliant. I was gonna say, I was like, there's 2 things. You and I just watched Covenant the other day, and there was 2 things I noticed. Number 1, hopeful music playing at a certain point that reminded me of Star Trek right before everything starts going to shit. And I was like, that's so great they added that, because it gives you like this false hope, this false comfort that everything's gonna be okay. And then the other thing I just fucking loved is that the sound design in the movie, when like thrusters are going and certain things are opening, they actually use screams and like alien xenomorph sounds to blend them together. And it's like you hear things move and start, and it sounds like screaming and insect kind of like movings, and it's like you got to really listen, but if you hear it, like some of it is like right in there. So good.
The impact of the sound overall was just like
excellent.
Such good
It was
sound
so
design.
good. I would love to listen to it like with Atmos headphones and just really submerge yourself into it. One thing if you ever go into cinematography classes is they'll say like a great example is to sit down and watch Alien with not watch it, but listen to it. So you just like turn the movie off or just like put it on your phone and listen to the soundtracks and the sound design, because that movie's sound design is so crisp and excellent. And then this is one of those movies that I agree with as well. If you're gonna study sound and everything like that, this movie's sound is just layered upon layered with excellent mastercraft mixing and sound design. So they fucking nailed it. As a technical film, it's almost masterful, I'd say.
Hands down.
All the way down to the practical effects. You can tell when it's CGI and practical, but it doesn't matter because it's so warm and welcome. So I really enjoy it. And I absolutely would recommend Alien Romulus in theaters. If you have an IMAX in your city, go see it in IMAX.
Absolutely.
If you have the laser in Landmark, go see it in laser. Go see it on the biggest screen you can with the best sound design you can. And I think you're just gonna be in for a fucking treat, especially if you've been worried about the movie. If you're not a fan of Prometheus and stuff like that, go see this movie.
Yeah.
If you are a fan of Prometheus and stuff like that, go see this movie. It's almost like a win-win.
If you're a fan of Alien Resurrection,
go see this movie.
It's
insane.
You'll be right back on board with the franchise.
Actually insane.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I have my few criticisms of the film, and it's not even necessarily the film. I was just reflecting on like, I don't know, just filmmaking in general and things that I like and things that I want to see in different movies. But they're so minute. They're so
it's so opinionated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like taking this movie for what it is, and for the package that it delivers, like I said, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. Fantastic work, Fede Alvarez. Great fucking job. Like you said, definitely go see it in theaters if you enjoy a good spooky movie and enjoy the Alien films. And with that, I'll say thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Infernal Archive, and the first ever like contemporary review we've done. Like this, we just saw this movie today in theaters.
Yeah.
It's the like opening night that we saw it.
Yeah,
So
it's like
very
early screening.
very
in a way.
fresh.
Yeah.
So new thing we're trying out. My other acolyte will hopefully be exercised and not executed, because we do kill the ones that unfortunately we can't purge of good thoughts. That's the thing. We're evil people, so like you get goodness in you, and it's just you get a little seed of hope in you, and then we can't snuff it out, and then we gotta fucking put you down. But hopefully we can snuff his hope out and any good warm feeling that enters his heart, and he'll be back soonish.
And with that being said, cut to the credits of The Exorcism.
We'll catch you on the next episode of the Infernal Archive. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Take care, guys.